Hi guys, welcome back to another video. Today's video is kind of personal, kind of important to me. Actually, it's not kind of, it's very important to me. By the title, you guys can tell I'm going to be talking about PCOS. If you guys are not aware of what it is, don't worry. I'm going to be giving you all of the information regarding it, all of the facts, everything that I've learned so far. And then I'm also going to be telling you guys a little bit of my own personal story with having PCOS. So without further ado, let's jump right into the video. So I do have a whole little fact sheet that I did type up about PCOS because I always want to be giving you guys the correct information. I'm really big on research. So if you're not sure or you don't really know what PCOS is, PCOS stands for polycystic ovary syndrome, and it is a condition, a health condition that affects approximately 1 out of 10 women of childbearing age, and it is caused by an imbalance of the reproductive hormones. I won't get into like the science or like that complex medical jargon about what PCOS is because, nobody have time for that. So I'm going to explain it the best way I understand it to help you guys understand it. So basically, PCOS causes the elevation of androgens in the woman's body. Now, androgens are known as the male hormones like testosterone, and this causes issues with the ovaries. Now, if you aren't well versed on what the job of the ovaries is, I'm going to tell you guys that. So the ovaries are responsible for making a healthy egg each month. That's a part of a healthy menstrual cycle. Now with PCOS, that egg may not develop as it should, or, it may not even be released at all, which causes all kinds of little wonky issues. So in a nutshell, that is what PCOS is. So you guys are probably wondering who gets PCOS, and I'm going to tell you that. So 5 to 10% of women between the ages of 15 to 44 have PCOS. Many women do find out that they have PCOS when they're in their 20s or 30s, when they are having difficulties conceiving a child. However, I do want to point out that PCOS can happen. Anyone can get PCOS pretty much after puberty. So now you guys are probably wondering, what are the symptoms? Now, there are many symptoms for PCOS, but I am here to tell you guys, you don't have to have or exhibit all of the symptoms to be diagnosed. You only need a few of the symptoms for your doctor to, have an idea if you have PCOS or not. So one of the symptoms, I'm just going to go down the list of them, is irregular or missed menstrual periods or missed menstrual cycles, overgrowth of hair on the chin, the face, and any other part of the body that men typically grow hair at. Acne is another big symptom, and that's acne on the face, on the chest, and on the upper back. With the acne, you can also see a lot of women who have PCOS will have oily skin, and that just causes, breeds an environment for acne. Another symptom is thinning of the hair, generally male pattern baldness. Another big symptom of PCOS is weight gain, and that is generally centralized to the mid region of the body, and also weight loss. Many women who have PCOS have a much difficult time losing the weight that they have gained, and a lot of it is attributed to a lot of women with PCOS being insulin resistant. Another symptom is darkening of the skin, particularly around the neck creases, the groin area, and underneath the breast. Another symptom is skin tags, and many, many more. I can just keep going on. It's a whole slew of symptoms that PCOS causes. Now you guys are probably wondering, how does one, find out, or how do they know if they have PCOS? How is PCOS diagnosed? Like, how does that happen? So as of right now, there's no one way to diagnose polycystic ovary syndrome. However, there are a multitude of ways that your doctor or your physician will, go about diagnosing you. So one is a physical exam, taking into account your symptoms, reviewing an in-depth medical history with you, and that also will look at a family medical history because PCOS is thought to be linked genetically, as well as a pelvic exam, a pelvic ultrasound to look at your ovaries and see if there's any cysts there on your ovaries. I do also want to point out that everyone with PCOS will not have cysts on their ovaries, even though it's called polycystic ovary syndrome. I know, kind of crazy. But your doctor will also take a look at your ovaries just to see if you have any cysts on your ovaries. And then lastly, extensive and comprehensive blood test. Now, your blood test will show if you have elevated androgens, which once again are those male hormones like testosterone. And that is a key indicator that you possibly have PCOS. So one of the biggest questions I had is what causes PCOS? And after I really researched it and talked to my physicians, there's actually no one cause. So experts do believe that there are many factors that contribute to PCOS. That can be genetics. Most women who have PCOS will have a mother, a aunt, or sister that also has the condition. Lifestyle also plays a big role. So your diet, your level of physical exercise or physical activity, and then a whole bunch of other factors like your environment and your weight and things of that nature. So there's no one cause of PCOS that experts know of at this moment. Another question that I had when I did discover that I had PCOS is, how can I treat this? How can I cure this? What can I do to fix this? And unfortunately, I do just want to go ahead and say that PCOS is a condition that is not curable. At this moment, there is no known cure for the condition. However, you can do many things to manage your symptoms and live a life that's basically close to symptom-free. Some of those things is changing your lifestyle, and that includes changing your diet, eating a diet that is suitable to your body and also suitable to reducing the symptoms of PCOS. I'm going to have a whole different video on that, so I'm not going to get too far into what that is. Also, increasing your level of physical activity, exercising more, and that just will help with losing weight. Now, this goes into the next thing that you can do to help minimize your symptoms for PCOS, and that is reducing your weight. However, that's not the case for everyone. Every woman that has PCOS is not overweight. That is, something that it's advertised that most people who have the condition are overweight or obese, but it's not the case. So it doesn't always fix the symptoms. It is a case-by-case type of thing. So losing weight also is what is recommended if you have PCOS and you are overweight. Even the slightest decrease in body weight can help manage and reduce a lot of the symptoms, like bringing back your missed or irregular periods, reducing your insulin resistance, helping with your acne, a whole slew of things. So it's definitely worth trying if that is the case, if you are overweight and you have PCOS. Likewise, many women also look to medicine to treat their PCOS, and that is in the form of birth control, hormonal birth control, which does help with regulating your menstrual cycles. And also there's different drugs like anti-androgen blocking drugs or something like that. I'm not too well versed on it, so I don't want to give you guys information that I'm not too sure of. But if you're definitely, curious about that, I would say look it up and research it. And another drug that I've heard of is metformin. While I've never been prescribed that, or I wasn't told that I had to take that, it is a drug that many women do take when they have PCOS. So those are the different ways that you can treat the health condition. There are many women, including myself, that seek help from naturopathic doctors and nutritionists and endocrinologists for a more natural and holistic way of treating PCOS. I know for me personally, and I'm going to get into that, I wasn't too keen on the idea of treating this condition with hormonal birth control pills. So there are different routes that you can take. I do want to go ahead and say that no one way to treat it is the right way. You do have to find out what works for your body specifically. So one of the biggest things that I discovered when researching PCOS after I found out about it was the many health conditions that it's linked to. Now, this was probably the scariest thing that I discovered. PCOS is linked to many other health conditions. I read somewhere that a physician basically said it's like the red flag or the warning sign when a person is diagnosed for PCOS. It basically lets you know, like, hey, kind of, change your lifestyle because this is the trajectory in which you may wind up. And so I know for me personally, when I saw many of the other health conditions that was linked to PCOS, I I'm not gonna lie, I was truly scared. I was freaked out. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get into what those health conditions are. Studies do show that PCOS are linked to many other major health conditions like diabetes. Women who have PCOS do have a 50% chance of getting type 2 diabetes or prediabetes before the age of 40. That is insane. And I think it's crucial to not leave out that before the age of 40 part. Not that we have more than 50% chance of getting diabetes, type 2 diabetes, but that we have more than a 50% chance of getting type 2 diabetes before the age of 40. I don't know about you guys. I'm 24. Even though, that seems like a really long time from now, in theory, it's not that long, and it's super scary to think about, this condition that I have can contribute to a more severe condition like diabetes. Not only is PCOS linked to type 2 diabetes, but it is linked to sleep apnea. It is linked to high blood pressure. It's linked to cholesterol problems, which can also affect your heart and cause things like heart disease. And it is also linked to depression and anxiety. That is a big one. And last but not least, which I think is the biggest, is infertility. Now, PCOS is the leading cause of infertility in women. That's insane. It's insane. And I think out of all of them, with like diabetes coming like second runner up, infertility was the one that kind of like hit me like a ton of bricks. Like, what is this? What are you talking about? And yes, I am here to say that PCOS is the leading cause of infertility in women, unfortunately. That does not mean that if you have PCOS, you will be unable to have children. That's not what it means. It does mean, however, that if you do have PCOS, it can potentially lead to problems like infertility. But I'm going to get into all of that. Not only is infertility one of the major health conditions that is linked with PCOS, along with the others that I mentioned, but another one is endometrial cancer. Now, endometrial cancer is cancer of the endometrium. The endometrium is the lining of the uterus and the womb. And basically, what my understanding of it is because many women who have PCOS do not ovulate, therefore they do not have periods, or their periods are not regular, that lining of the uterus is not shedding as it should, and because of that, it can potentially lead to endometrial cancer. So that is a big thing. And that's why many physicians do recommend that women with PCOS do look to take hormonal birth control as a way to make their periods regular to reduce that risk. So those are all of the health conditions, the major health conditions that are linked to PCOS that I am aware of. The big question, like I just talked about with infertility, is many women have it. I had it. I still have it, is can I have children with this condition? Now, from my understanding and just my faith in the Creator, I think and I do believe, based off of what I researched, that it is 100% possible that you can have children with polycystic ovary syndrome. However, it is much difficult to have children or to conceive a child if you have PCOS. And that is for a variety of reasons, but plain blank period, ovulation is a big issue. I do want to say, while it is not impossible to have a child with PCOS, having PCOS does not label you as infertile off the bat. You will have a much harder time conceiving a child. You may have some difficulties with conceiving a child. Many women who have PCOS and do go on to have children do have issues with their pregnancies. This includes gestational diabetes, premature birth, cesarean sections, miscarriage, and preeclampsia. It sounds horrible. I know. It sounds scary as shit. I'm not gonna lie. But like I said, I'm here to just provide information regarding this health condition. Just because you have PCOS, it does not, like I said, mean that you'll never be able to have children. I think that's like the scariest part that I found out, aside from the other health issues, was that I may not be able to have kids. Now, I'm not thinking about that right now, but nobody wants to hear that. And I was reading something, like when I first found out, I went on YouTube and I was like looking at videos, and it was a girl that said her doctor basically like told her, yeah, you'll never be able to have children. And I was just like, whoa. Now I know everybody's situation is different. I'm not too sure what this girl's medical history showed. I don't know if her case was more extreme than other cases. I'm not too sure. I just think, as a physician, that is kind of like brutal to say. And I think she was like 15 or 16 or something like that. Like, you just told a kid, like, she's still a kid, that she'll never be able to have a child. Like, no. Where can I report? Where can I report this physician at? Please give me a medical board to write to, because that's not okay. All of the information that I did provide you guys with just now, all of the facts and information regarding polycystic ovary syndrome, I did find on www.womenshealth.gov. If you're interested in researching this condition, if you want to know a little more in-depth information about what PCOS is, a little more facts and statistics about the health condition, then definitely go to womenshealth.gov. So that's all my information regarding the health condition. I'm going to go ahead and get into my own personal story of finding out that I have PCOS. Now, I did find out that I had polycystic ovary syndrome about a month ago now. Yeah, it's been a little over a month. Now, I'm going to backtrack and give you guys, the story of what led me into my physician to find out what was going on. So I got off of hormonal birth control in want to say December 2018. I decided to get off of the pill. Now, I was taking the mini pill, which is a progesterone only pill, because the combination pill, which is like progesterone and estrogen, caused my blood pressure to rise. So I was taking the mini pill. Prior to having the mini pill, I did have the Nexplanon. Now, the Nexplanon is a little implant that's like the size of a matchstick that goes right into your arm right here. I did have that for about 2 years. Got that taken out, went straight into progesterone only pill. Now, I decided that I just wanted to give my body a break from having all of these synthetic hormones in it, and just, a way for it to naturally balance my hormones and just get back to what it's supposed to do naturally. So I went off in 2018 December of 2018. I was kind of like in between, like, I'll take a pill, stop taking it. It definitely wasn't healthy. That's all I'm going to say. But I completely stopped taking it January of 2019. I did not get my monthly cycle February of 2019 or March of 2019. And I didn't really think anything of it. I just figured that my body was still trying to get acclimated to balancing my hormones, because when you have synthetic hormones and things that are just not natural in your body, it takes a while for your body to get back to what it's supposed to do. So I didn't think anything of it. April of 2019 came around, and I did get my monthly cycle at the end of the month, like I always did. And I was like, okay, I'm good. My hormones are good again. My cycle's back regular. I'm straight. May of 2019 came, and my monthly cycle was MIA. And I was kind of like, okay, what's going on? You were just here and now you're not here. Maybe I'm stressed. I was going through some things. So I was like, okay, it's the stress. I'm not really gonna think anything of it. May 2019 went. June 2019 came. Still no menstrual cycle by the end of the month. So I was kind of like, okay, what's going on now? I don't know what this is about, but God, creator, universe, I need you to fix it. I need you to make this come now. Okay, let me do some yoga to calm down so it's not stress that's, playing a factor. It still didn't come. July comes, and it's like the mid of July. Now, mind you guys, I'm getting all of the symptoms. My period is coming, like PMS, all the things that, women go through before they get their cycle. I'm still getting all of those symptoms. It's just not here. So I'm just like, what in the world? What is going on? So July comes, it's like mid-July, and I'm kind of like, this is not okay. I need to find out what's going on. Most women who have missed periods or absent periods, their first train of thought goes to pregnancy. I wasn't really thinking about that. That wasn't really on my, that was not a factor. So I kind of was just like, I don't think that's the case. So I'm not even gonna entertain that thought. The end of July rolls around, and I'm kind of like, okay, another month that this shit, it's MIA. Like it's like completely gone. It vanished. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna wait and see what happens in August. I know this is probably insane. You guys are probably like, why did you wait all of those months before like going to see a doctor? Why did it take you that long to kind of be like, okay, I need to go see what's up about this? But I'm the kind of person, I don't really like going to the doctors if I don't have to. And I didn't think, I really just thought that it was stress. And I really thought that it was like my pills, my birth control pills that I had went off of. So I kind of was just like, I wasn't thinking that it was anything severe, anything serious. So I just kept putting off the doctor. So the end of July 31st came, and I was like, you know what? I'm not going to go into August and wait another month for this. I'm just going to go ahead and see what's up. So I went ahead and made an appointment to go to my doctor. I got an appointment I got an appointment the same day that I called in. I went in, standard procedure if you have a missed period. They do want to rule out pregnancy. So she took a pregnancy test, even though I knew I was not pregnant. That was not the case at all. And like I already knew it was negative. And so she then went ahead and said, well, she wanted to do more tests to see what it could be. She went over my medical history with me. She did a pelvic exam. And then she went ahead and ordered a comprehensive blood test. Now I don't know what she was looking for, but they took a lot of blood. And I was just like, yeah, girl, find out what's wrong with me. Find out what's going on. So just keep drawing the blood if you need it. She did say that she was going to get back to me within 24 to 48 hours. I went home. This was like a Wednesday, I believe. I went home. Thursday, I kind of was like, okay, did she call yet? Then Friday came. I believe was it August 1st or August? I think it was the 1st or the 2nd of August. I don't remember, but it was that first week. And Friday came, and early Friday morning, she called me, and she basically went over my blood work, and she said my androgen levels were extremely high. In particular, my testosterone was much, much higher than it should have been. And with that, my progesterone, which progesterone is needed basically to start ovulation or for like healthy ovulation, my progesterone was really low. So basically she was like, you have something called PCOS. And she asked me, did I know what it was? And I had heard it before, but I wasn't too sure about what it was. So I was just like, I don't really know. Like I heard it, but I'm not too sure. So she just gave me the rundown of what it was. And she basically said that the best way to treat it is hormonal birth control pills and to eat a more cleaner diet and to work out. That's it. She asked me if I plan on having children in the next year, which of course my answer was no, because that's not in my plans right now. And she said, okay, well, yeah, I recommend taking the hormonal birth control, eating better, and adding physical activities into your daily routine. And I said, okay. And she asked if I had any other questions, which I didn't. And that was the end of the phone call. Now, me being the person that I am, automatically, I went to my computer and I began searching up what PCOS was. And oh, buddy, oh my God. I went down a rabbit hole, guys. I mean, I went from like Google, WebMD, which I do not recommend, Mayo Clinic. Don't diagnose yourself at home, guys. I went to womenshealth.gov. I went to the CDC website. I mean, all kinds of health websites. I even went to scholarly journals. Like I was really, I mean, for hours researching PCOS. And I was shook. I was shook to my core. I was like, this lady, this ma'am, this doctor, this good old physician made it seem like it was just, oh yeah, you have this, just treat it like this and you'll be fine. And I was reading the exact opposite. Like everything I read was, it's linked to this, it's linked to this, it causes this. Many women try to treat it with this. Some women haven't had their periods in 8 years, 6 years, 10 years, like all of these things. And I'm kind of like, what the F? Like, this is not what you just told me. This is way more serious. What I'm reading is way more serious than what you told me. So I took a breath. I went to my mom I wanted to like have a whole breakdown, and I basically went crazy. I was like, okay, I'm not eating this. I'm cutting this out. They said that you shouldn't eat this. You shouldn't eat this either. So basically, I'm going completely vegan, and I'm not eating this. I'm not eating gluten. I'm not eating dairy anymore. Nothing that causes inflammation. And I mean, I went crazy. Like, oh my God, I went so crazy. And my mother was like, I think you're going just a tad bit extreme, just a little extreme. Like, you don't have to go that extreme. You could cut some things out, but like you're just going cold turkey and it's not going to work. And I wasn't listening. I was super stressed. And then the more I read, I found out that, it causes cysts on the ovaries. And I was like, well, my doctor didn't say anything about that. She didn't even ask about that. She didn't even call me back into the office. Like, she told me all of this over the phone. So I decided that it was best for me to make a follow-up appointment, that I could go ahead and speak with someone more in depth about this condition. Once again, I found out on a Friday. I called that Monday, and I was able to get an appointment for that following day. So I went in, I had all of my questions written down. I was prepared. I needed them answered. I needed everything answered. And I didn't meet with the doctor that had diagnosed me. I met with the nurse practitioner, which I had an issue with in general, because every time I freaking go to that doctor, I can't meet with the actual doctor. I'm always meeting with a physician assistant or a nurse practitioner, or I'm always meeting with someone other than the doctor. And I have an issue with that. But whatever. I'm not going to get on that. Anyway, I met with a nurse practitioner, and she was definitely very helpful. She took me in, she looked at all of my blood work, she went over everything with me. And I do want to go ahead and say, I'm one of those people that, while I think weight kind of contributed, and my lifestyle definitely contributed to, I think, why I have PCOS, or like why the symptoms began to present themselves. That wasn't something that my doctor was like, worried about, like me losing weight, basically. My like blood work was completely healthy, and everything else, like my thyroid, like everything, my sugar, I wasn't like pre-diabetic or anything. Like, there was no alarms for that. Insulin wise, I was pretty good. Like, everything was like healthy except for my androgen levels and having PCOS, having this condition. So my doctor basically was like, she definitely recommended hormonal birth control to get my periods back on a regular cycle, to reduce the risk of getting endometrial cancer, and also just changing, my diet, trying to eat more healthy, whole foods, and definitely incorporating exercise into my routine, because let me be honest, I didn't exercise at all. Maybe like once or twice every few months. So those were her recommendations. And an issue that I had was the fact that even the nurse practitioner said nothing about getting an ultrasound of my ovaries to see if there were cysts. And that's a problem for me, because the health condition is called polycystic ovary syndrome. So if it is literally in the name, why don't you think to check for it? Like, that just it didn't download to me. But I had to ask her if I needed an ultrasound done. And even when I asked her, she still was kind of like hesitant. Like, I mean, yeah, if that makes you feel a little bit more comfortable, we can go ahead and have that done. A little bit more comfortable? Yeah, hell yeah. And also, like, why didn't you just like, recommend this? Like, why did I have to go ahead and advocate for this? But I'm not going to go into that. And so we went ahead and made an appointment for that. She went ahead and wrote my prescription for hormonal birth control. And I was honest with her. The route of treating PCOS with birth control was not one that I wanted to take. And that's for my own personal reasons, but I just didn't think that was the remedy for it. I think definitely it helps the symptoms, but I was trying to get to the root cause of what was going on with my body and why it kind of just came out of nowhere. On the way home, I had decided I want to go on a journey with this health condition. It is something that I am going to live with for the rest of my life, okay? Because there is no cure for it. Essentially, it's something I'm going to always have. Now, I may not always show the symptoms of it, but it is something that is going to affect my health. And if I don't go ahead and take it seriously and take the necessary steps to make the changes that I can make, it's going to result in other major issues. So I began researching more, because that's me. And I decided, while going just extreme, like vegan and cutting out everything, I was going to do what worked best for my body. And that included changing my diet or changing the diet that suits me best, and not trying to follow what was working for someone else with PCOS. And I think that's something that's really important to keep in mind. Even if you're researching, you're finding out all of this information and things that work for everyone else, it may not specifically work for you. PCOS is a journey, and treating it and managing your symptoms is a journey, that trial and error type thing. Like, you may find something that works for you that may not work for the next person, and you just have to just do what is best for your body. I did seek the help from a naturopathic doctor and a nutritionist, and also my primary physician is very, like, she's lit, okay? Now, she took blood work and looked to see if I had any vitamin or mineral deficiency, and then just helped put me on a regimen. I just found out that I had this condition about a month ago, so I'm very new in this journey. But I have been able to minimize some of my symptoms, like my acne. I want to say maybe like 3 weeks into finding out that I had PCOS, I got a crazy breakout. I don't really break out like that. Like, I've never really had to deal with acne, of course, like around puberty, but like following that, I have like an occasional pimple here or there. I'll get like a crazy breakout around like my time of the month, and then that's it. For the most part, my skin has always been pretty good. And after finding out that I had PCOS, it was like chaos on my face. I had a pimple here, cluster of pimples there. Like, it just went bananas. And that was due to, once again, the elevated androgen levels. And it also just, like I said, it comes from having oily skin, which I already had. And then the excess of testosterone causes, your skin to produce more oil, which just creates a breeding ground for bacteria and acne to form. And so I definitely have been able to manage it within like the last 2 weeks or so. I was able to bring back my menstrual cycle this month. It's been such a long time coming, guys. I don't think you understand. I'm going to make a whole video on how I did that. So I'm not going to tell you guys how I did it, but I don't think you guys understand. I legit was like crying. Like, I was in tears because it was just a lot of emotions that I was going through. But anyway, I was able to do that. And then, some other symptoms, like, oh, I forgot to mention, bloating is another big symptom of it. And I was dealing with crazy bloating, okay? I still kind of am today, but I know what works best. A lot of it is due to diet. Then even if you're eating a good diet that is friendly to your PCOS and geared towards your symptoms, you still will get the occasional bloating. So it's just something you have to deal with. And I've increase my level of physical activity. I do work out pretty much every single day. This week I missed a workout, but that's okay. I'm learning not to be hard on myself, even when I slip up with eating and things like that. So like I said, it's a journey. I'm gonna have more videos all about reducing my symptoms, foods I eat, workouts, all of that other stuff. So I hope you guys do join me on this PCOS journey. I'm gonna have it for the rest of my life. I'm trying to figure out what is working best for my body. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I do want to say to anyone that's watching that has PCOS, or just found out they have PCOS, or has had it for a long, it doesn't matter. I am learning that it is okay to not have good days. There are days when I'm perfectly fine and I don't think anything about it, and I do what I have to do to manage my symptoms. And then there are days where I have like breakdowns, like mini breakdowns on the inside, and even like big breakdowns on the outside, thinking about fertility issues that I may have, the fact that I have to, go about my life differently than other people. Like, do I want to eat this pizza, or do I want to worry about eating this pizza causing me to be bloated for the next week? And any other issues, like, do I want to skip out on working out this week? All of these different things that play into your mental and your psyche. And so I do just want to say, be kind to yourself, give yourself some time to process things, do your research. Even if you kind of fall off, even if you eat that pizza, even if you eat that gluten bagel or that gluten donut or whatever else, even if you indulge or a little, you slack off with working out or all of these other things, it's okay to not be okay. It's okay to feel sad, have a little breakdown, but just get yourself back up and get back to it. Get back to the working out, get back to the eating good, get back to the journey to living the healthiest that you can. You're not going to figure it out in one day. I don't have it figured out in 1 month. Yeah, I was able to get my period back this month. That does not mean I'm going to get it next month. Like, I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to get it the month after that. Like, I have absolutely no idea. All I know is that you take it day by day and you do what is best for your body. You listen to your body. I think that's the biggest thing. Your body is going to tell you what's going on with it. Like, you're going to know way before you may show symptoms. You're going to know way before you need a doctor to tell you. Your body's going to talk to you. Listen to your body. So I hope you guys learned a little bit from this video about what PCOS is. If you have your own little personal stories about being diagnosed with PCOS or different things that have worked for you or that you've discovered after finding out you have PCOS, please drop it down in the comment section. Let's get a little dialogue going. I think that as women, we need to talk more about women's health issues that are common. Like PCOS, I found out is very common. 1 in 10 women, or more like 1 in 5 or something like that. Like, chances are, even if you don't have it, you most likely know somebody who do, and that's crazy. So while it is super common, it is not okay. It's not normal, and we definitely need to do better at talking about it. You shouldn't feel like it's taboo. I feel really uncomfortable sometimes talking about personal issues that have to do with me, especially like my menstrual cycles and ovulation, my reproductive health and things like that. But bruh, come on. As women, it's normal. Like, you need us. Everyone needs us to bring life into this world, point blank, period. And our reproductive organs and system is very important to human life. It's a part of human life. So we have to talk about these issues to make sure that experts and scientists and everybody is doing what they need to do to make sure that women's health, reproductive health, is a priority. Before I end, I'm going to end on a serious note, okay? 1, a woman's reproductive rights and health is her own. Women have the right to decide what happens to their bodies, period. End of sentence. Nothing else needs to be said about that. Also, on a serious note, stop asking women questions about having children. Stop asking women when they're going to have kids. Stop asking women why they don't have kids yet. Stop nagging women when they're going to give you a niece or a nephew or a little cousin or a grandchild or whatever else. Stop pressuring women or pestering women about when they're going to have kids. 1, you don't know what the hell is going on with that woman in her life. You don't know whether she wants to have kids or not. You don't know whether she can have kids or not. It's insensitive, and quite frankly, it's none of your damn business. It's not. When a woman decides to have a child, what she decides to do with her body is her choice, and when she decides to do it, it's her choice. Stop asking women that question. It's really annoying, and it needs to stop. And also, it's kind of sensitive. I know for me, finding out this information, my stance on children have shifted a lot. Now when I see people with babies, I'm kind of like, it hits here, bruh. It hits here. It's a soft spot. And I've never been like that at all. I've never been a baby person, a kid person. And now I'm kind of like, oh, it just makes me really emotional. And I think that comes from just knowing that my body may potentially choose for me to not be able to have kids. And that is a very difficult and sobering thought. So like I said, be very mindful when you're asking women why they don't have children yet or when they're going to have children yet. You really don't know what's going on, and you really should just mind your damn business and focus on your reproductive situation there. Okay? So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you like this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to my channel. Don't forget that. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.